Welcome back to the GC channel. I'm your host, Orlando Casares, the president and founder of First Law International. If you're new with us, welcome. This is a channel especially for you, for the GCs and for in-house legal teams, and is powered by General Counsels. We'll be covering today some of the trendiest topics, things that keep you up at night, and we hope that you will find the next few minutes invaluable and very insightful. So follow us along. Welcome to the GC channel. My next guest is no stranger to First Law International. It's my pleasure, actually, to welcome Evan Slavitt, the Vice President and General Counsel of AVX. Evan comes from a very stellar academic career as an Ivy graduate, and he has an equally impressive career as a professional of over 35 years, both in private practice, working for the Department of Justice, and as well as for a law firm. And then most recently, for the last 15 plus years, as the General Counsel of a multinational global company, which is a company that is based in South Carolina. It is my pleasure to welcome Evan. Evan, I always think of you as someone who has worn three different hats. Tell our audience a little bit about your multifaceted background.
Well, I have the advantage of having worked in government, both in Washington and in the Massachusetts field office for the Department of Justice, working in private practice as a trial attorney, and now working as a general counsel. So I've seen problems and I've seen disputes from all three perspectives, which I think has been very helpful to me in my current job. It makes me better understand the dynamics of the disputes and the negotiations in a way that I might not have if I'd only worked on one side.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But for those that are less fortunate, for the earthlings out there who are watching the show, it's obviously not everyone's privilege to be able to say, look, I've been through the mountain. I've been able to learn both in-house government and now as internal in-house counsel, which gives you that unique perspective of how to managing both the external crises, but also how to manage, most importantly, something that we're going to focus today, the outside counsel, the external law firm. Now, in looking at some of the materials that you published, I was very taken by a comment that you once made that says that what you do is translate legal jargon to businesses and business people so that they can understand it. And that made me laugh because I think that's every in-house counsel nightmare, to get these documents and endless treatises that no business person can ever understand. So how do you deal with that? Give a little advice on that.
Well, one of the things that you have to do as a general counsel is you're much more attuned to your audience. And your audience are people who are businessmen, not lawyers generally. Some of them with a finance background, some not. And so the goal is to basically take the technical legal stuff that is prepared by outside counsel and figure out how to meaningfully deliver that to your internal clients. And I use the term internal clients advisedly because in many respects, that's the relationship that I have to have in order to maintain my objectivity and not get totally frustrated with my job. So the outside counsel who have been trained to look under every rock and to parse every single the and a in an agreement, they have their own perspective. And my job is to say, all right, I understand all those comments, but let's figure out what are the big picture items. What are the items that will be important to my internal clients? And how can I explain those in a way that they will literally understand them rather than just nod and hope that I stop talking very soon?
I couldn't have said it better. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Orlando Casares, the founder and the host of the General Channel, the GC channel. My guest again today is Evan Slavitt, Vice President and GC of AVX. And the General Channel is based in the political hub of the EU here in Brussels, Belgium. And Evan is sitting right now in South Carolina. So I'm very glad to have him with us. As we talk about his career and the journey that he's embraced for the past 35 years, here's someone who is no stranger to writing, and he's authored articles in a book, and we'll talk about that later. But perhaps a little bit of an intro in terms of how someone like Evan, with a global responsibility of a company that is a leading international manufacturer and supplier, with a number of technologies and manufacturing, automotive, industrial, as well as medical and military. How would you say, Evan, what would you say to those that are watching in terms of what a global company today, especially in the middle of COVID, how a global company today has to navigate the waters that you've said that's what you do?
Well, thank you. One of the problems, particularly in the COVID era, is that it's very easy to lose touch with all the people that you work with. Most of my communications, most of my business comes from people outside of South Carolina. And historically, I've tried to travel a fair amount to meet with them and establish personal relations. COVID has made that very difficult, and it means that I have to make more of an effort to not just issue my emails or dictates, but to actually have discussions with my staff in Europe and in Asia, and with all the people that I work with in Europe and in Asia. And that means that sometimes we have Zoom calls or whatever that are designed not just to attack a particular problem, but to review where we are with the situation, make sure that I understand what their priorities are. And so communication has become even more important than it was in the prior years I was here as the General Counsel. But I would emphasize that even in a post-COVID period, when people can travel more if they want, there is still a tendency for many attorneys, many in-house counsel, to simply become unapproachable like the Wizard of Oz because you're so busy and because you have so many different demands on your time. And I think that that's a mistake. I think the more that legal is perceived by the sales department or by operations as being somebody you don't want to deal with, or as a place where contracts go to die, you lose your effectiveness as a general counsel. So my advice is to make efforts all the time, and particularly when COVID or other restrictions apply, to stay in touch with everybody and to make sure that you're building not just the technical relationship, but you're also building a business relationship.
Well, thank you for watching. If you would like to see more videos like this one, subscribe to the channel and press the notification button below so that you will be alerted when new videos come out. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to the next one. And don't forget,